Carpet Game of the Week. Heath Dunkel alongside Coulter Tao right now in the pregame show. We got to talking a moment ago, Coulter, about your scoring prediction. Also really about this Alcoa football team and some of the things that have impressed us. We were talking about the defense specifically. 178 yards total allowed to Union County last week, 163 through the air, 15 on the ground. Still continuing that trend of only one team so far this season through 5 games that has had 100 yards rushing on them. No one else has done that yet. We'll see if that will change tonight. Funny story, this week I actually talked to an Alcoa football player, and I said to him, well, that part's not the funny part, but I was talking to him and I said, out of the 5 teams you've played so far, only one of them have you allowed 100 yards rushing to. Who would it be? And he looked at me and he almost said, he was like, maybe Maryville, I'm not possibly. And I said, nope, Gibbs. And he was like, really? And then he said, I bet that long run did it. It got him over the mark. He's like, I remember that one big one they got on us. And so I was like, yeah. I said, but if you just looked at it, again, if you looked at it on paper, that's not the team you're picking when you're thinking who might have been the one to get 100 yards rushing on you. But it says a lot about this defense. That will continue throughout the season. Saw some bright things from offense, but something else you and I got an opportunity to see was not only this Alcoa football team. We got to talk this week to the golf team. We also got to talk to the choir at Alcoa High School on Tornado Live, something we do every Wednesday. We will be off for fall break, but when we pick it back up, we'll continue moving forward on Wednesday nights at Black Horse Pub and Brewery. Start at 6 o'clock, where you can catch us on YouTube, where we're not just talking to the football team. We're talking to members of the community within our school system, wanting to try to show other programs love and kind of get information out there on them. And I thought it was really fun to see them and kind of get to know them.
Yeah, for sure, Heath. And when you look at a couple of these high school athletes, they're very well spoken. Shows how they've been mentored and been taught. But another thing I want to add about the rushing game is not only is it impressive that we've only allowed 100 yards, it's the most rushing yards we've ever allowed this season, but when you look at Alcoa moving up to 4A last season, losing guys on the D-line like Eli Owens and Jameer Turner, and our D-line to still be able to be as prestige as they are.
Yeah, we had a lot of great kids on the headset with us, and one of the things I really loved asked when we were talking to a lot of them is they were just talking about trying to be role models and trying to be leaders and set examples for the ones that were coming after them, trying their best, especially some of the older members of the choir, trying to set the tone and trying to give advice when they could to leave the program better than they found it. And I just really loved that message and that mentality by them. So we certainly wish the golf team the best of luck as they continue to progress through the season. And in the choir, as they move forward, 3 of them going to All East. We hope they have a great time there. And then as they prepare in the spring for competition, as they'll be performing in the spring in JV Lyle, they also are putting on a play as well. They're doing a production of Mean Girls this year, so we wish them the best of luck with that also. But it's Coulter. Now, as we've got about 8 minutes left here in the pregame show, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Trevor Dunkel and Scott Dunkel, before we hit game time, are going to talk a little bit about games around the area. You're listening to the David's Abbey Carpet Game of the Week. We'll be back in a moment.
Go by classifications, and now that region play is starting to really get into effect. But before we do that, I heard you guys mentioning Sevier County and Greenville. I don't know if you guys mentioned the Gibbs-Lenore City
No,
score
we
last
did
night.
not.
But Gibbs playing out of region, hosting Lenore City last night, getting the win 56-14. So you always like to see that. So starting off with 4A, Region 2. Last week, Heritage went in and ruined Fulton's homecoming game, going on to a 30-12 victory. Tonight they host Carter in a region showdown that could cement the third place team in our region. Like I mentioned to you last week, with Gibbs losing, Heritage could potentially be running for third. South Doyle and Gibbs could be or Carter and Gibbs, I'm sorry, could be battling for that fourth spot. It could be very interesting how the region.
Don't rule out South Doyle either.
Oh
though.
yeah, they're in there as well. And then Union County needs to call State Farm Insurance to file a claim, as quite a few tornadoes came in and destroyed them last week. Tonight they travel to South Doyle to take on the Cherokees. The Cherokees won a nail-biter in a surprise win against Gibbs. And then moving to Region 1 and 4A, Seymour trying to get their first region win of the season as they fly over to Cherokee to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs were undefeated until they ran into Elizabethton last week, so continuing to keep an eye on Region 1 there. And then also Region 3, Loudon has been struggling this year. You have to go back to 2018 for the last time Loudon has had 3 or more losses going into the 6th game of the season. They hope to turn it around tonight as they travel to 4-1 East Ridge, both of them winless in the region. Then moving over to 5A, last week William Blount gave Halls their first win of the season, which was a major shock, seeing how William Blount has been destroying their opponents in the first 3 games. Tonight they host Carnes for the battle of the third spots, or potentially the third spot in their region. And one of the games of the week is in Powell tonight as the undefeated Panthers host a cat fight as the Central Bobcats come to town. Both teams atop the region with 3 region wins apiece. And then continuing with Region 2 in 5A, in a region of 8 teams, only 4 can go to the playoffs. West and Halls completely understand that, are battling to move to that potential 4th, because a loss here could really hurt their chances moving to the playoffs. And then talking about that, you have Campbell County traveling to Clinton tonight. Both of them winless so far in the season, and the loser of this game could probably wave their chances of the playoffs goodbye. So this game very much matters to both teams, especially trying to get their first win of the season. And then we'll skip over to 6A real quick as well. Maryville needs to start off every season with a loss to Alcoa. We would love it. And they're playing the last 4 games that might benefit them too. Tonight they travel to Hardin Valley to continue their region dominance.
Yeah, Hawks much improved from last year, but still, that's going to be a hard game to be able to defeat Maryville.
That, and then you're in a region with Maryville, Oak Ridge, Bradley Central.
Yeah.
Those 3 are probably claiming the top 3 spots. Talking about Bradley Central and Oak Ridge, the only 2 teams in Maryville's region that could possibly give them a scare. A matchup tonight, Oak Ridge Wildcats travel to Bradley Central in a wilderness matchup against the Bears. Both teams sitting right behind Maryville in the region, and this could lock up the 2nd position for the winner. And then Bearden and Farragut square off tonight. One of them will get their first win of the season, as both of them are currently winless.
And that's something you don't see, especially out of Farragut this time of year.
Oh yeah, it's definitely surprising, but I think at Bearden, same way. Sometimes they have really good teams, and for both of them not to be having good seasons is very surprising. And then to wrap up 6A, moving over to Region 3, a really big game tonight. Maryville might be a bunch of Blaze fans as the Blackman Blaze host the Oakland Patriots. Maryville could potentially run into one of these, who are both currently undefeated opponents in the playoffs this year, and might secretly hope it's Blackman, as Maryville has not defeated Oakland since 2019. So that's definitely a game to keep an eye on as well in 6A.
Yeah, Oakland, an extremely hard team to beat, and have been, if not winning the state title, have been in the finals there for the last several years. So definitely a team that Maryville is looking for to play.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So again, just taking a quick look at region, you have Alcoa here at Fulton, Anderson County at Chattanooga Prep, Carter at Heritage, Union County at South Doyle, and Gibbs played last night. So we're going to take a quick break as the teams get, well, actually, we're going to go ahead and get Heath over here and get this thing started as Fulton actually is already on the field getting ready for or to receive as Alcoa now gets out onto the field. So, and as Trevor mentioned, while we're waiting on them to get all that ready to go, in Blount County and surrounding areas, Greenback will play at Eagleton tonight, or no, hosting Eagleton tonight. Heritage hosts Carter tonight. William Blount hosts Carnes. And Maryville will be traveling to Hardin Valley tonight for games in the area of Blount County and surrounding areas. So Fulton's ready to receive. Alcoa hitting the field, getting ready to kick off.
All right, Scott, well, let's get back to it as it's time to start the first quarter of action between Alcoa and Fulton. As Fulton won the toss a moment ago, I think Scott gave you those details, and so they are waiting to receive. And Scott, just trying to see if maybe they can get something started on offense to begin this game and put a little pressure on the Tornadoes, as they know this Tornado offense can strike quickly and often.
Well, not only that too, Heath, but the best way to keep Alcoa from scoring, have the ball, keep it out of their hands.
That's fair. As Kyron Tyson gets ready to kick this ball away from the 40. There he goes, booting it down the field and backing up near the end zone. That one will go into the end zone and behind it for
Offsides.
a touchback. And got an offsides from the Tornadoes. I think maybe Jacoby Cooper may have gotten off the line a little too early. Looks like he was looking over the sidelines, talking to the coaches. So they'll get lined back up and go again. This Tornado football team, as we mentioned a moment ago, when they have the football, they can score quick. How quick? Well, they're averaging 49 points a game. It was last week they put up 69 against Union County, defeating them 69-13. That's the most points they scored in a ball game this season. Right behind that was 63 points against Bearden in week 2. Kyron Tyson's got the ball set. They've moved the ball back from the 40 to the 35, and now the Tornadoes will get ready to kick again. They'll be kicking from left to right on your radio dial as Fulton's got one deep man back near the 5 waiting for it. Let's see how deep he boots it this time. Over his head again, past him into the end zone yet again. So 5 yards, no problem, Scott, for Kyron Tyson.
And give you a little something you probably didn't know, Heath, but that was the 27th kick into the end zone for a touchback for Tyson, who actually leads the area.
Good for him. He's a really good kicker, Scott, and a great soccer player as well in his own right. I'm still really curious to see. I haven't got to talk to him a lot about it, but I'm curious to see what he wants to do at the next level. If he's looking to play football or soccer, maybe looking to go a different path. I think he certainly has opportunities in either sport if he wants it. 1st and 10 for the Falcons, pistol formation. Now they'll move the running back up to the right of the quarterback. In the shotgun, they'll move someone from left to right. Look down the field. Here comes some heavy pressure. Carter Cowart bringing it. They tried to set up a screen, but instead it's going to move the Falcons behind the line of scrimmage about another 5 to 6 yards as he went around the right side, and Man Henry threw him out of bounds near the cheerleaders. There was a flag thrown at the end of that play.
Yeah, as Henry got him out of bounds and then slung him, I'm waiting to see if they're actually going to call that as a personal foul penalty. I'm waiting to see. I'm not sure where the referee's actually going to mark that.
Here's the question, though, Scott, and maybe it's just from my point of view, and maybe I didn't quite see it the same way, but it almost looked like it was one swoop, one motion. He kind of took him, was spinning out of bounds, and then just finished by throwing him down versus already being out of bounds and then throwing him. And so, Scott, what they're going to call is a face mask on the Tornadoes. So some free yardage for the Falcons as they'll move down the field, and that'll spot the ball at the 35.
Yeah, Ethan, it looks like Justin Burris is quarterbacking tonight instead of Womble so far from, or no, there's Womble back there. Womble is their normal quarterback, and Burris had replaced him last week. So we'll see what happens here.
Maybe rotating in a few different quarterbacks, trying to see if they can get us some different looks and find the right adjustment for their offense. This time, they try to make an adjustment by handing the football up the middle. Darius Sutter says, not today. He gets into the backfield and slams the running back down, and that'll be a loss of 1. It'll now be 2nd and 11 for Fulton.
Yeah, also assisted there by Cade Stennett, as they both took him down and gave him nothing, actually backed him up.
Well, and give some credit to the defensive line, Scott. They got some really good initial pressure, pushing the line backwards. So when the running back, as soon as he got the ball, there wasn't anywhere to go. Instead, the line was coming back into him. And then as he tried to look to his left and to his right, he just started to see tornadoes surrounding him.
Yeah, not something you want to see.
Not if you're the opponent. 2nd and 11. They roll out of the pocket, throw it to the outside, complete the pass. He'll lean forward and lower his helmet. And he will be tackled by Laster. Laster will take him down at the 40. It'll now be 3rd down for Fulton. It'll be 3rd and 5. So a 5-yard gain on the reception. I believe that was Rowan Womble who made the catch.
Yeah, it looks like they have gone to Burris as they moved Womble out to a receiving position.
So a single receiver to the right, running back to the left and right of the quarterback in the shotgun, and 2 receivers to the left of the formation. Quarterback will look over to the single receiver side, now call things out, fake the handoff, roll that way. Some heavy pressure, I'll have to get it out quick. They tried to slip the running back out of the backfield to that direction. He throws it to him, but as soon as he catches it, he quickly finds himself falling to the turf, courtesy of Cade Stinnett.
Yeah, Alcoa had that covered very well. When the receiver got the ball, looked in front of him, 3 defensive backs already there waiting on him. Turns to his left, and Stinnett coming right up on top of him. Good play.
So the 5-yard they gained a moment ago, they lose that +1, a loss of 6. It's 4th and 11 with 9:52 left to go in the first quarter, and this first offensive drive for the Falcons is now over. As they punt the football to Jacoby Cooper, he calls things out to let his players know as it was a short to the right punt. He moves out of the way. That ball now will take, though, a Falcon roll, and a really good one at that for Fulton as that one gets down to the 21. So able to flip the field. You weren't able to generate offense as much as you would have liked to, Scott, but at least your special teams helps your defense out by flipping the field and making the Tornadoes start at the 21.
Yeah, what looked like was going to be a very short punt turns into a 45-yard kick.
So now this Alcoa offense will come out onto the field and see what they've got for us this ball game. Alcoa, 2,100 yards of offense so far this season, averaging 420 per game. Manu in the backfield. Looks like Condis Cherry lined up behind him. They'll turn, they'll hand it off to Cherry. Cherry will cut it back up the middle. Make one miss, make another miss, make a third miss, make a fourth. He's got 3 more players around him. They'll finally surround him and bring him down, but not before he picks up a Marable top shot first down for the Alcoa Tornadoes, and that'll put the ball near midfield. He will be down at the 46.
Yeah, facing Cherry one-on-one is very hard to do. They had to get 3 players up there in front of him to finally be able to corral him.
Yeah, it was only a few weeks ago in the West game that Condis Cherry finished with over 150 yards rushing. We'll see what kind of performance he has tonight. He's still in the backfield with Manu. Manu turns, rolls. Condis Cherry setting up some pass protection. He'll throw it out, completed to Jacoby Cooper. Cooper to the 45, Cooper to the 40, and we thought it was a fumble. That was just his shoe. Had a maroon shoe that was kind of dark like the football.
Yes.
And I saw you yell fumble, but I was like, that does not look like a football.
What's funny is when I saw that dude, I thought,
40-yard line, and the Tornadoes quickly moving the football down the field. 8:30 left to go in the first quarter, 0-0, and the Tornadoes with their first opportunity on offense, moving from left to right down the field. They'll turn, hand the football off. There goes that man. Cherry on the carry, makes the first miss, gets to the second level of the defense. They'll wrap him up, and they'll
yeah, Alcoa liking to start with back. They have a slew of running backs that they will bring in and out during the game, but
Jalen Pinson split out on the right side at tight end. They'll fake the handoff field. A low throw, Scott. That would have been a touch. Just a little bit more touch on that as he had Jamirius Abuhanya behind the defender about 5 yards. Just a little bit of trouble with
during the motion just caused it to go low.
So an incompletion with Manu. It's 3rd and 3, 7:32. Up, the defense is waiting for him, but not before Cherry picks up a Marable top shot.
At least in the last couple of years, doing this more this year, Heath. is more of a ground game and eating up a lot of clock as they do it.
And as the clock ticks, we're 5 seconds away from being under 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Alcoa gets to the line of scrimmage. They've got that top. It's also a clean roofs tornado maroon zone.
Good at what they do in blocking too, clearing out an area for you to be able to get a lot of yardage.
Not only two of your really good wide receivers in Jamirius Abuhanya and Jacoby. First down for Alcoa. Two receivers to the left, two to the right. And a tight end split off. He put it in a spot. It wasn't like he waited for.
I'm sure that's what you really like to see, is have that ball coming to you. You don't have to worry so much about trying to find it. It's there, and he put it in a perfect spot.
Great throw by Manu. The Falcons 0. We'll take a quick break here on 94.3 Jack FM. We'll be right back. And just like that, on their first offensive drive of the ball game, the Tornadoes score. The Falcons back with the football after a touchback from Tyson, and now on their second offensive drive, looking to see what they can do with it. One receiver to the right. They look over at the sideline, yell some things out, and sprinting onto the field and getting in the place is the wide receiver for the Fulton Falcons. So they'll turn, hand the receiver on the field if maybe he kind of felt that clock ticking, that internal clock, and kind of rushed the snap, trying to make sure there was no delay of game. Caused that high snap there. Under 5.5 minutes to go in the first, 7-0 your score. Second and they'll get past the line of scrimmage, get some of the yardage they lost back, and a few more after that. It'll be third down after the run. One split off on the left side behind the left tackle. They'll turn, go to the strong side, escape some pressure, now dump it outside. They've got a man, that's Womble, tiptoeing the sidelines. He'll step out of. He hustled down the sidelines, felt two defenders coming out after him, and instead of taking a really big hit, he made sure he had just enough to get the first down, got out of bounds.
Yeah,
he'll be tackled near another first down. But one of the things that was told to me is two of the best receivers on this team early in the season broke their collarbones. And so you're talking about injuries that are kind of starting the way they have. And so as you start to lose players like that, the less and less you got. And so players like Womble stepping out a moment ago, trying to preserve himself, or they're probably, I believe that was man Henry, no, Cade Stinnett getting into the backfield and finishing off the quarterback for a loss. It'll be a loss of 5. From picking up a first down and getting close to midfield, now put themselves in a third and long situation. And again, another long.
Yeah, and attribute that a little bit probably to the run.
Game of the week, 28-0 your score. Tornadoes in the lead with 9:14 left to go in the second. Falcons, Fulton back on offense. They'll turn a wide receiver screen. Caught. Alcoa, though, getting past the initial defender. And as they push him out of bounds, a late hit by the Tornadoes. Scott will give the Fulton Falcons some free yardage. And you know the coaches have to be frustrated with that. You just can't do that.
No, he was clearly out of bounds, and he just lowered his shoulder and hit him. That's one that you've just got to have the discipline enough to just pull yourself up or try to turn yourself away from the receiver. But a free 15 yards and a free first down for the Falcons.
So Fulton will continue to get that football moved down the field, and it'll now be placed at the 38. It'll be 1st and 10 for Fulton. And kind of an uncharacteristic play, too, by Micah Jones. I'm not sure if just there was some frustration or he thought he still had a yard or two to deliver that hit. Fortunately, because of he delivering it out of bounds, it was a penalty and gave them some free yardage. Now Fulton will go back to the ground game, hand the football off, and then the running back tries to spin off the defender, but Man Henry kind of picks him up and just slams him down onto the turf after a gain of 2.
Yeah, he was waiting on him right there. He saw that running back make that turn and just came right to him.
So second down for Fulton. They did get a couple yards, though, on the play. We'll see if they can get a few more here as they substitute a couple of players in and out of the offensive huddle. We'll get the call, and now they'll get lined up. 2 receivers to the left side, a tight end on the left side as well. Running back to the left and right of the quarterback in the shotgun formation. He'll get the snap, he'll fake the handoff, he'll drop back. Heavy pressure, he evades the first initial defender, and as he's throwing the football away is flattened by Blair Goodson. Blair Goodson saying, hey, even if we're not going to get the sack, we want you to be thinking about us.
Oh, yeah, and I think he saw Blair coming at him initially, and Blair just about had him. He eluded him, but he did not get any further than that.
Well, it was number 76 for the Tornadoes who got in there first and delivered some pressure. And then he evaded that first initial play, and then Blair Goodson caught up to him, and that's when he eventually had to throw the ball away. So because of doing so, it is now 3rd and 7 for Fulton. 8:19 left to go in the second quarter. Can the Falcons pick up a first down? If they do, that'll put them near the 50. The snap, the quarterback drops back. Running back's trying to block for the quarterback as he steps up into the pocket. Still will not help as the Tornadoes surround him and drive him backwards. Hard to tell who made the sack there, Scott, as there was about 4 different Tornadoes wrapping him up. So it's now 4th and 10 for Fulton.
Yeah, like you said, very hard.
So back to on here, and he'll juke and jive his way up the field and get about 15 to 20 yards on that punt return. And now the Tornadoes at the 49, so 49 yards away from the end zone.
Yeah, not a very good punt at all.
So it's 1st and 10 for Alcoa. And the Tornadoes will look to pour it on as they're up 28-0. That's Jalen Pinson. He'll reach out and lunge forward near the sidelines, and I believe, depending on the spot, I think he will pick it up. He will. That's a Maryville top.
That little limp that he had earlier. .705. 28-0. Manu hands off. That is Jones. Jones breaks free.
6:43 and counting on the clock in the second quarter. Manu will come. Jones split out at a receiver. Trips to by the defense, and now the offense for the Alcoa Tornadoes right back to it with 1:47 left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, not a very smart pass the quarterback tried getting out there, but he just kind of lofted it right up to him. Easy catch and a great run.
So a 48-yard interception for Dougherty, and Scott, the young man who had 2 interceptions last week and was our Print FX Player of the Week, now has his 3rd interception in 2 weeks. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not complaining.
Not at all. Conda's Cherry in the backfield with Manu. Trips to the right, single receiver to the left. To look to the single receiver side, throw it up into the end zone, up, and caught by the defensive back, but caught out of bounds as he was making his way towards the Fulton Falcon track. So it'll now be 2nd and 10, or 2nd and 9. Looks like it's at the 9-yard line. 2nd and 9, 2nd and goal for Alcoa with 1:40 left to go in the second quarter.
We'll call it 9.5.
Either way you slice it, 2nd and goal as we're inside the Clean Roofs Tornado Maroon Zone.
Yeah, the nose of the football is actually at the 9, so clean 9.
As Alcoa breaks the huddle, 2 receivers out to the right. Now Condas Cherry will join them. It'll make it a trips formation. You've got Abuhanya, Hawkins, and Cherry to the right. Jalen Pinson and Jameer Dean to the left. Empty backfield. They'll turn and throw. They've got a man. And as he rolls around and spins and extends the football, you've got another Tornado touchdown. As that was caught by Jameer Dean. And Scott lowered his helmet, tried to get as low as the defensive back waiting to meet him. Both collided with shoulders, and then Dean just tried to kind of roll up over him and then extended the football into the end zone and scored. So a Delosier auction touchdown for Alcoa, and now the extra point team will come out to add some more on.
Yeah, Heath, and even if he didn't have Dean right there, Cherry was all by himself on the right-hand side. The receivers over there, because there were 3 at that time, 2 of them took the defenders into the end zone. Cherry wide open, standing at the 10-yard line.
Snap is down, kick is up, almost blocked. Good job by the pressure there from Fulton, but just a touch away from blocking it. Good kick by Kyron, not allowing the pressure to affect him. And with 1:34 left to go in the second quarter, it's 49-0 Tornadoes. Let's take a 30-second break. We'll be back in a moment. Minute 34 left to go in the second quarter, and the Cadunza kickoff now getting booted down the field by Kyron Tyson. That one will end up in the end zone, and the Falcons will now have 80 yards to go with 1:34 left to go in the second quarter.
Still enough time for Alcoa to get the ball back, Heath.
You are correct. You've also got an opportunity if you're Fulton, try to run some 2-minute offense. Can you quickly try to nickel and dime your way down the field, or maybe find a couple of big plays? But the problem so far, Scott, is you really haven't had any big explosive plays down the field. The only times you have is when you've chucked it up. It's been explosive by the Tornadoes as the defenses have intercepted it.
Right. Here's the other thing that you have as well, and it looks like there's going to be a flag, probably a legal substitution on the defense for Alcoa, but Fulton has no timeouts. Yeah, legal substitution from on the Tornadoes, going to give the Fultons at least 5 more yards, let them start out at now their own 25-yard line with 1:34 left in the second quarter. So everybody's going to get re-lined up. We'll try this again.
So first down for Fulton. They'll send a man in motion. They'll turn. They'll pitch it to him. He'll now try to get to the outside. And, Scott, there's going to be a penalty flag thrown as they'll take him out of bounds, and I think it's probably going to end up being a hold on the Falcons.
That's what I would think, the way and location that it was thrown, and it is.
Yeah, they pitched it to Jamil Smith, the junior receiver, and as he cut it kind of on a jet sweep type of play and tried to bow it out, I think it forced the lineman to have to move with the defender, and he just had a piece of that jersey and the ref saw it.
Yeah, it looked like Alcoa knew what was going on because they had several defenders fly quickly to that side of the field and cut that play off.
So that'll move the Falcons in the wrong direction. 1:24 and counting on the clock here in the second quarter. It's still first down. It's now 1st and 15. Alcoa still has 2 timeouts. We'll see if they think about using them or if they'll let this clock continue to tick. They'll turn, hand it off to the running back to the left side. He's got a blocker in front of him. Now Alcoa sheds the blocker and brings him down after a gain of 5. So back to the original line of scrimmage. It's now 2nd and 10. It's got some issues with the clock right now.
Yeah, I see this.
Kind of bouncing back and forth between times. Not quite sure how much time we've got left. We'll keep our eye on it. 2nd and 10, though, for Fulton.
Yeah, it needs to be running right now, though.
Falcons seem to kind of be taking their time. You wonder if they're just trying to get this to halftime and then try to regroup. So really don't appear to be in a hurry whatsoever. They'll turn, they'll hand the football off again. He will be met by 3 Tornadoes in the backfield. Number 51 for the Tornadoes, Dante Jones, the first on the spot, making the tackle as Darius Sutterth and a crew of Tornadoes came to assist him and finish him off. It's now 3rd and 12. Clock will continue to tick, and that should finish up the first half. We get the clock rocking and rolling. As the referee looking up at the board, we are as well waiting to see, is this the end of the second quarter and the first half? Or is there still some more time to be played? They'll blow the whistle, and it looks like they're going to call it.
Yeah, because with 10 seconds left, Fulton had a 40-second play clock anyway. They were going to let it run out.
So Fulton decides to take it to the half and regroup as the Tornadoes have a 49-point lead here at halftime. When we begin third quarter action, it will start mercy rule. But right now, we've got Paige on the field.
Perfect. Coach Brian, next year defense has been disruptive all night long. How much of your defense goes through Cowherd and Darius Sutter?
Yeah, I think they do so much. We got disruptive defensive line up front. You're talking about Carter. You know, Kenny Harris to me is one of the best players in the state. Doesn't get near the credit. Blair Goodson, just a super tough player, and just Darius, just a smart physical football player. And we're getting Man Henry. His play just continues to elevate. Dale Hughes is a guy. I don't know if he played maybe 1 or 2 snaps against Maryville. He's playing as good as anybody we've had. So I think it's evident in this program. We're always trying to develop guys. We're trying to find new guys, and so they're doing. Luka Doherty, that's his 3rd interception in 2 weeks. So, but once again, he doesn't practice like a sophomore. He doesn't practice and prepare like a kid. He's ready to go in and play, and he's reaping the benefit of his work for sure.
Quickly, I'm going to go over that touchdown by your offensive lineman, number 77, committed to Texas Tech. What did you see from Jacoby when he flipped it to his offensive lineman?
Yeah, you just got. I mean, in this program, we celebrate offensive linemen. That. If this was just 7-on-7, there would be no fans here. You bring the offensive and defensive line to Neyland Stadium, and 100,000 people show up. And that's what makes football. And so we celebrate. And we had ran a similar play to Lance Williams a few years ago. So Jacob asked if we could run that play at some point this year. We felt like we'd probably get man coverage there. He's actually athletic, big kid, got good hands, and so we felt like that was a way to show him some love for all the sacrifices he's made.
Awesome, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Paige. Appreciate it. 49-0 your score. Tornadoes in the lead. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the Stevenson Tire halftime show here on 94.3 Jack FM. Keith Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel as your score, Alcoa 49, Fulton 0. It has been all Tornadoes so far. A very impressive start. It was, Scott, I feel like it was only, I got to go look back at Coulter's scoring summary, but a lot of the first quarter had gone by and it was still only 7-0. And then all of a sudden, the last few minutes of the first quarter and an explosion in the second has built a very big lead in a hurry for Alcoa.
That it did, Heath. As Alcoa does what they normally do, though, they're going to subdue you very quickly, and Alcoa has done exactly that.
Yeah, they certainly have. We're going to bring Coulter Tao on the headset with us and go ahead and give him our statistical breakdown. So, Coulter, I'm going to get you on, have you go ahead and let our fans know what the stats look like so far for both teams.
Thanks, Heath. So far for the Tornadoes, 358 total yards of offense, 181 of that through the air and 177 of that on the ground. Quarterback Thomas Manu, 9 completions on 11 attempts, 181 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. Tight end Jalen Penson with two receptions that went 40 yards, and wide receiver Jameer Dean with 1 reception for 9 yards and a receiving touchdown. Running back Damari DeBose with 4 rushes for 44 yards and a touchdown. Jamarius Abuhania with 2 receptions for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns. Running back Conis Cherry having an amazing day today. 5 rush attempts for 101 yards and a touchdown. And receiver Jacoby Cooper with 4 receptions for 64 yards and a touchdown. Looking at over at the Fulton side of the ball, 53 total yards of offense, 28 of that through the air and 25 of that on the ground. Quarterback Justin Burns, 8 completions on 10 attempts for 28 yards. Running back Rajon Wambly, 11 rush attempts for 33 yards and 4 receptions that went 9 yards. And wide receiver Makai Holmes, 3 receptions that went 14 yards.
Coulter, so far tonight, as you've got a unique perspective I always love to hear about, I just kind of want to get what's standing out to you so far in your assessment of the first half.
Well, Heath, on the offensive side of the ball, we were talking a little bit about this in the pregame, this balanced offense. 181 pass yards, 177 yards on the ground game. That's a 4-yard difference. So this Tornado team continues to be balanced throughout the season. When you have this balanced offense, it keeps teams guessing. If they're closing out the run game, you can go to the pass game.
Yeah, multifaceted offense, so many weapons on the field. Manu's got a lot of great players around him to go to, and they are doing it when they get the ball in their hands. So it's been very impressive so far. You look at the defensive side as well, just continuing to dominate as we've seen all season. I think you continue to see when we talk about this stifling rushing defense, 25 yards of rushing yards for the Falcons so far. Now that may pick up in the second half, but a lot of that, I always like to say, you have to put a little bit of an asterisk by it because you start to see some younger guys go in, and I think we'll see those guys pretty quickly in the second half.
Yeah, I agree, Heath. This defensive line so far, and really the entire season, has been so great. Only the Fulton Falcons are only averaging 1.6 average yards per carry tonight.
Well, Coulter, now what we're going to do is we are going to take a break here on the Stevenson Tire halftime show. When we come back, Trevor Dunkel will be on the headset to give us some scoreboard updates from around the area. So we'll give those Hardy scoreboard updates to you here in a moment on 94.3 Jack FM. The David Zappy Carpet Game of the Week. Heath Dunkel here on the headset with you, along with Trevor Dunkel, who's been locking things in for us all night on social media with updates. We've had quite a few technical issues tonight, just unfortunately because of the area and other things trying to get rocking and rolling. We've got a great team working hard to try to get that up and going for you on the radio, also on the NFHS network. We appreciate our fans keeping us posted on those things as well as we continue to monitor them, and again, have a great team working hard to try to get those fixed. But someone who's helping hold things down, if you can't find it anywhere else on socials, is Trevor Dunkel. As you can follow 2 Hype Sports. We'll keep posts throughout the night on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But Trevor, enough about this game. Let's talk a little bit about how other things are going in the area and also your favorite, Trevor's Tornado Trivia.
Thank you, Heath. Yes, Trevor's Tornado Trivia brought to you by John Lakehamp State Farm. You've trusted the Dunkels for your sports coverage. Now trust Trevor Dunkel at John Lakehamp State Farm for your insurance needs. From home to, from auto to home to life, I'll got you covered. So call us at 423-894-5568 or reach out to 2 Hype for more information. So the question of the week, I'm about to put it on Twitter and Facebook, but question is, Alcoa and Fulton have met 12 times spanning back to 1985. In 2009 they met and Alcoa came away with a 27-7 victory. There was an event that was significant in delaying that game to the next day. What was that event? So we're getting those posted on the socials right now.
And Trevor, while you're getting that posted, I just want to go ahead too and let our fans know something else we wanted to get the word out on is on Monday is the 2nd annual Tee Off for G. It's a benefit golf tournament to raise awareness for ALS, and all the proceeds going to former Alcoa Tornado Garrison Stevens, who graduated last season. Garrison in a fight and a battle here and we just are so proud of him and all the fighting that he has put into this, and we want to continue to show our support and be there for him. That golf tournament, if you're interested in helping raise awareness for ALS and supporting Garrison, is on Monday at Lambert Acres Golf Club, 3402 Tuckaleechee Pike, Maryville, Tennessee, 37843. It is $100 a player, $400 for a team of 4. Also, if you want some sponsorships on Monday, you can do a sponsor sign, a whole sponsor sign for $300, a family sponsor sign, banner sign for $200. We'll try to get this more information off on 2 Hype Sports to let you know, but Trevor, I've been told by Josh Stevens, if you want to play in this, even if you weren't able to register prior, you can show up Monday morning, get registered, get started. Registration starts at 8 a.m. on Monday, so make sure you show up and continue to support. But now I'm going to turn it over to you and Scott, and I'll let you take it away with scoreboard updates.
All right, thank you, Heath. Thank you. So back to our the Alcoa Region 2 of 4A. It's a battle going on tonight with multiple games. Heritage hosting Carter right now. We were talking about that earlier. These two could be battling for 3rd, 4th spots at the end of the season. So Heritage leading that 16-7 at the half. They've scored 2 touchdowns, and then they topped it off with a safety to get it to 16 points. So we'll continue to pay attention to that. Hopefully Heritage can come away with that win, giving them their 3rd region win of the season. So also moving over, South Doyle and Union County facing off tonight. There's no update on that game, but I think we can kind of guess who may win that one. But we'll try to get you an update as soon as we know. And then moving over to Region 1 in 4A is Cherokee hosting Seymour tonight. Both of them trying to battle for probably the 3rd, 4th positions in that region. And Cherokee is leading that 7-0 in the 2nd quarter. Then moving over to Region 3, you have Loudon, who traveled over to East Ridge tonight. Both of them winless in the region, trying to get their first win. There's about 6 teams in that region, so it shouldn't be too hard to try to make the playoffs. But Loudon trying to bounce back from not too great of a season to start off, looking at 2-3, but they're leading East Ridge 3-0 at the half. Moving over to 5A, William Blount hosting Carnes tonight. Both of them trying to battle for 3rd place behind Central and Powell right now. William Blount leading that 28-17 at the half. Powell hosting Central tonight. I mentioned earlier, that's probably one of the games of the week. Both of them battling for that #1 spot in 5A Region 2, and it's knotted up 14 all in the second quarter. So we'll continue to take a look at that game. And then West traveling over to Halls. Halls actually leading that 10-7 at the half. That one, Halls getting the surprise win against William Blount last week. May get their second win of the season tonight. And then talking about wins, you have Clinton and Campbell County playing tonight, neither having any wins as of yet. But Clinton leading that one 18-15 at the half. Then moving over to 6A, Hardin Valley hosting Maryville tonight. Maryville running away with that one 35-0 in the second. And then staying with that same region too, Bradley Central hosting Oak Ridge. Both of them are going to be trying to probably fight for that second place position in the region behind Maryville. Bradley Central leading that one 7-3 at the half. And then Bearden hosting Farragut. Farragut leading that 16-14 in the second. Both of those teams also looking for their first win of the season. And then I mentioned earlier, two teams that Maryville will be looking out for potentially in the playoffs is Blackman hosts Oakland tonight. Both of them undefeated. There's no update on that, most likely because they're over in the central time zone. So we don't tend to get really good updates from them until later in the game. Then going over to some non-region matchups that have either happened last night or tonight. Gibbs hosted Lenoir City last night. Gibbs defeating the Panthers 56-14. Greenback hosting Eagleton in a somewhat Blount County matchup. At the half, Greenback leading that one 13-7. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. And then Anderson County traveling all the way down to Chattanooga tonight to take on Chattanooga Prep. Anderson County pulling away with that one 21-0 in the second quarter. And that one's interesting. It's being played at Howard, their field over there in Chattanooga. Tennessee great Reggie White originally coming from that school.
Oh, yeah, Howard having some success back in the early days anyway, and you don't see as much of them anymore like you would them or Brainerd and so forth. But definitely a school like Fulton that once they kick it back into gear, watch out for them.
Oh, definitely. And then wrapping it up in 3A, I've been trying to give Gatlinburg Pittman a shout out all season. It's always good to see the little bro getting to that you've beat up for so many years, finally going out and beating up other teams. So Highlanders are sitting at 5-0 and are hosting the 0-4 Claiborne Bulldogs in a region matchup. This win should lock up a playoff berth for the Highlanders, and it's looking like that's going to be the case as Gatlinburg Pittman leading that one 28-0 in the second.
Well, and you have Johnson County and Unicoi County both in that region, as well as Unicoi County leading Pigeon Forge, another team in that region. So 3A, I'm sure very happy, as Gatlinburg Pittman has stated before, that Alcoa has moved on. But definitely looks like they're gonna still have some good battles in Region 1.
Potentially, but right now, if they pull away or if they win this one against Claiborne, they'll be sitting 3-0 in the region with Unicoi in Johnson County, Unicoi with one loss, Johnson County 1-0 in the region.
Have they faced Johnson or Unicoi yet?
Gatlinburg Pittman has defeated Unicoi. They've beat Pigeon Forge and Unicoi County so far, and they'll play Johnson County and Chucky Doak to continue their region play for the rest of the season.
All right, very good, Trevor. Thank you for the Hardy scoreboard updates there, as you covered all the regions and all the scores of interest that we have in the area. Like you said, we would like to see how that Blackman and Oakland game comes out. But again, Maryville on top of Hardin Valley is still in the second, 42-0. Kind of hoping Eagleton will come back, but Greenback hanging on right now as well. And still, like pointed out, no score there on the Oakland-Blackman game.
But we've got an update. They're in the second quarter so far. We didn't have an update a moment ago, but they finally just let us know they've played an entire first quarter. Looks like a whole defensive game right now as it's scoreless.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier as well, Anderson County leading Chattanooga Prep. So good game going on down there as well. But we've got the teams coming back on the field. Let's take a couple minutes and take a break as the teams start to get loosened up. Alcoa's back on. Hadn't seen Fulton yet, but let's go ahead and take a couple minutes, take a break, and we'll be back here in a few minutes as you're listening to the David's Abbey Carpet game. The first half as you're down closer to the field usually during the game?
Just dominance, but that's normal for Alcoa. But Manu getting 3 touchdowns so far. He's had some colleges even give him shout-outs on Twitter. So he looks like he's leading that. Has he won player of the game yet so far this season?
Not yet, but him and Jam both are competing for that today as Abuhanya's had a really good game as well.
Oh, definitely. Oh, and there's Fulton's team finally coming out to stretch a little bit, but like you said, they added a few more minutes for us. But just again, dominance is. You thought this game might be a little bit closer. Fulton, not having a win this season, but they've had some good seasons in the past that maybe they might give Alcoa a little bit of pushback, but.
No, Alcoa doing exactly what Alcoa does, and that is to basically just go ahead and dominate you early, get the clock running. So we're going to have a continuous clock starting the second half of the game here as they have just, as you said, dominated Fulton pretty much every play. He talked about this earlier about no real big plays for the Falcons except for maybe one little run. Got a little bit for him, and then a good kickoff return. But other than that, not a lot of highlights for Fulton right now.
Oh, no, not at all. And want to give a shout out to the fans. They packed our
Alcoa
side of the. They always travel, but they
well.
packed over there. I was looking at it earlier. I looked at our side. I looked over at Fulton. It was like, do they not know they're at home? Where are their parents? Where are their fans at?
Yeah,
I think we have more.
It's unfortunate for the Falcon players that they don't have the stands as full as they used to and what they're used to. But anyway, while the teams are loosening up here, still got about a minute and a half left. Let's take that minute and a half, take another break. When we come back, Heath will be back with me, and we will get you started on the second half of this game. Again, Alcoa leading 49-0. We'll be right back.
Well, if he's not, you'll be calling her with me. I gotta get stuff off on social. Y'all gotta pay me more if I'm doing all this. He christening the bathroom?
He's gonna go try to get rid of some of those plaques while he was at it too, so who knows.
Really, right now? When he decided to do it?
and mercy rule in effect as we get ready for third quarter action. 49-0 Tornadoes. What a first half performance.
That it was, Heath. As Trevor mentioned a minute ago, basically dominance right now for Alcoa, and it's not going to get any better as Alcoa will get the kickoff. Will be receiving here to start the second half.
Alcoa have a few dropping back for returning, and it looks like it's Damari DeBose, Condis Cherry, and Jameer Dean that are awaiting the return. Scott, last week you missed some fun as Alcoa won the toss. They normally defer to the second half. Instead, they elected to receive, and for good reason. They got the ball, took it to the house for a touchdown to begin that ball game. It was something Coach Nix talked about with Paige Dower that they were really focused on and that they had wanted to improve upon is their kickoff return, and it worked out for them from the jump.
Yeah, and it's not changed much today, even though they kicked off to Fulton to start it. They got the ball back pretty quickly and was able to score.
So now the Tornadoes will look to see if they can do that yet again here. It was Mason Laster, one of the upbacks, a few in front of the main returners who took it to the house last week. Let's see what they do here as Fulton gets ready to boot this one away. A low squib kick that they are going to let Jacoby Cooper field, and they'll try to set up a hole for him. He'll go up the middle, make a man miss. Now look to cut it to the outside. He's got a little bit of a wall. Can he beat the defenders chasing him? To the 25, to the 20, 15. He slows up for blockers to set up in front of him, and the Falcons will take him out of bounds at the 6. So not quite a touchdown, but awfully close.
Very close, Heath, and something that a lot of times last year we would be saying, but this time, and Alcoa has done a great job of it this season, has kept the laundry off the field.
So a minute 33 and counting off the clock as we're in mercy roll. We're going to see this third and fourth quarter really start to move rather quickly as the Tornadoes look to add some more on the board here. 6 yards away from doing just that. Scott, we saw a lot of Luka Dougherty last week. He's now here in at quarterback for Alcoa as they will move to some of their backup players here and give them some opportunities. So Dougherty gets ready in the shotgun formation. And there's one of our favorites, yes, the bus next to him. They'll turn. It was a botched snap. Dougherty climbed the ladder and caught it, takes it himself. And a broken play turns into about a 4-yard gain for the Tornadoes as he'll be down near the end zone at the 1.
Yeah, always good when you can turn something that didn't look that good into something very positive. Yeah, great job from Dougherty just catching it and going. He didn't hesitate. He didn't look around. He just got that ball, made the best of a broken situation, and certainly made a positive impact as he is now at the 1-yard line. So in the Clean Roofs Tornado Maroon Zone, 1 yard away from a Delosier Auction touchdown. As Jermon Bishop, the bus, beside him, we'll see if they let the Bishop finish the job. They start the engine of the bus, and it'll take them home for a touchdown as Alcoa will extend their lead. Yeah, really good play, good hold by the offensive line. All he had to do was just walk through it as he just followed the guard in. Yeah, great job blocking by Jermon Bishop. The running back scores for a touchdown for the Alcoa, his first touchdown of the night. And Alcoa now looking for the extra point as we've got another kicker into the game. I believe that may be Yanez Cato now into the ball game for the Tornadoes, and it is Levi Yanez Cato waiting for the extra point. Before he gets it off, Alcoa realizes they're missing alignment, and so they turn around and call for him. He'll make his way out, and now they will get themselves set. Still got about 5 seconds left on the play clock. They'll get the snap in time. The kick will be up. The kick will be good. 10:02 left to go in the third quarter, 56-0. Tornadoes strike quickly, and so will we with the timeout. We'll be back in a moment on 94.3 Jack FM.
Kickoff just got underway, and the Fulton Falcons return it to the 35-yard line, and that is where the Falcons will take over on offense. Scott, didn't have an opportunity to talk with Paige Dower in the first half. I want to get her on the headset here in a moment. We're just going to talk to her a little bit about what she's seen so far from this Tornado offense, and really, I'm just curious what's impressed her the most. There are a lot of players making plays, so we'll go down to her in just a second. But 1st and 10 for the Fulton Falcons. And they will take the snap. They'll draw back, turn, fire it to the outside as the running back tries to get behind some receiver blocks, tries to make a man miss. He will not slip out of the tackle of number 13, Carson Murphy, who's able to wrap him up and bring him down. It's now going to bring up 2nd and 5. So as the Fulton Falcons get back to it, they're going to move quickly. So we're going to continue to let them do so. And then the next time the Tornadoes are on offense and we've got a break in the action, we'll try to get her on the headset. Fulton tried to get Alcoa to jump. They do not. It's 2nd and 5.
Well, you have a lot of younger players out there as well, so Fulton trying to exploit that opportunity as well.
Yeah, see if they can take advantage. They'll get the snap, they'll turn, fake the handoff. A little bit of confusion between the quarterback and running back. Quarterback got it, Scott turned to hand it off, but the running back went behind him instead of where the ball was, and the quarterback waited a little bit too long, I thought, there once he realized the play was broken to go with it.
Yeah, and as soon as he tried to turn and take off, Luca Dougherty was right on him. The lunge for him, was able to grab him around the ankles and bring him down without, actually with a loss.
Kind of reminds me of a Luca I see on the basketball court of my favorite team, just making a lot of clutch plays over the last few weeks. It's now 3rd and 6 for the Falcons. They'll turn, this time running back, quarterback, same page, and a handoff. And the Tornadoes will make the tackle, and he will be just about a yard and a half short of the first down marker, and it'll bring up 4th down. So now, Scott, look at the score. You also look at Alcoa bringing in some backups. Do you go for it here? I think you do, and it looks like that's what Fulton's doing. So they don't get the Tornadoes to jump. They'll turn and get the adjusted play call. Quarterback will come up to the line of scrimmage and call things out to his line. He'll now back up, look around, get the snap, hand it off, and they sling him forward for a first down, as it looked like Dante Jones, the first in the backfield, might have had him stopped about still with no gain. But Scott, when he tackled him, he kind of spun to throw him down, and he propelled him forward for the first.
Well, and Wombo also some good leg drive. If he's kind of facing his back to his goal line, just kind of pushing as hard as he could, able to get at least a couple yards out of that. Alcoa almost able to stop him there, but good play for the second unit here.
1st and 10, ball in the 46. 6:33 left to go in the third. 56-0 your score. Alcoa, the Falcons on the move. They'll drop back. They'll throw it across the middle. That one's caught, breaks a tackle, continues to move to the 40, and will be upended before he makes it to the 35. I believe they're going to down him at the 37-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Falcons.
Yeah, Murphy trying to make a play on the ball, just missed it as he did. The receiver caught it, able to get past him and get a few extra yards, but good swarming by the Alcoa defense to, once they saw him get away, able to get on top of him pretty quickly.
Now under 6 minutes to go in the third. This quarter and next quarter are going to move very quickly as we've now entered Mercy Roll. Mercy Roll, 30 points or more moving into the second half. Mercy Roll will go into effect, which is a continuous clock. The Tornadoes got plenty of that as they're up 56-0. Another handoff to the running back. 3 Alcoa Tornadoes in the backfield, and just a little bit of an olay by Wombles, and Womble will gain 2 on the play before meeting the rest of the Tornado defense.
Yeah, Corey Manuel on the play for Alcoa was able to corral him, but like you said, he just went right through Alcoa defenders and was able to get into the linebacking unit.
So second down for Fulton, but looks like a penalty will move them forward.
A face mask.
So it'll move back to first down, and now much more manageable first down, as it's now first, and it looks like around 3.
Yeah, just an incidental face mask, so a 5-yard penalty, not a 15.
First down for the Falcons, 3 yards away from a Maryville top shot, first down for Fulton. They'll send a man in motion. They'll get the snap. Fake the jet sweep, hand it off to the running back, and there's Dante Jones. Now, it looks like the ball came loose. It did, and it'll be Alcoa football. So Dante Jones able to knock it loose, and I believe it was number 35 for Alcoa, Corey Manuel, who fell on it, and it's Tornado football. So as the Alcoa football team makes their way onto the field for offense, let's go ahead and have Paige Dower get on the mic with us. Paige, you've had a chance to really see some explosiveness from this Tornado offense in the first half. What's impressed you the most?
Oh, there's so many areas of this team that continues to impress you, and I know a lot that we can see on offense. And what was really nice in the first half is how much they were able to run the ball and then spread the field, getting downfield to a couple of their receivers. But like we talked to with Brian Nix going into halftime, it really is Alcoa's defensive front, even now here having your second string guys in who are so disruptive, and I think really that's been the difference tonight.
Defensive front making another big play moments ago and getting that fumble. And now here comes the Alcoa offense as a good pass when Dougherty caught, and a first down for Alcoa as catching it on the run and ending up out of bounds is Carson Murphy. So another big play for the Tornadoes. Appreciate Paige there moments ago with that breakdown, and she's right, Scott. I mean, just so many great plays, so many great players making those plays. And then it's one of the things Coulter and I talked about in the pregame. We talked about it in Tornado Live. I could preach about it all every single day. You put me on the headset about this Tornado team. I've just been so impressed with this defense.
Yeah, Heath, they played extremely well. We saw a defense like this several years back, but this one has just been really dominant.
Mm-hmm. 1st and 10 for Alcoa after the great throw from Dougherty. It puts the ball at the 49 yards away, under 3 minutes to go, and the Bus gets the carry here in the third. He'll power his way forward, continue to try to take players with him, and it'll bring up second and around 3.
And you notice, Heath, whenever you bring him down, he's carrying a lot of passengers.
Yeah, he certainly is, Scott. He took a few there with him and then dropped him off 3 yards away from a first down. So 2nd and 3 for Alcoa. 2:30 now to go on the clock in the third. Alcoa, as they'll continue to try to move down the field, they also will start to really take their time as well. You don't really see them in a hurry. They're not rushed. They're just kind of letting the play develop and getting everybody set and making sure they're ready to go as they want to just continue to develop these young men. Dougherty looking over to the sidelines. Looks like he was still trying to get some things figured out offensively. He'll now make his way back up and get ready to run the play. He'll draw back, look, heavy pressure. He'll turn, try to dump it off. But Scott, just a little bit of miscommunication between him and the running back who was out of the backfield. Brody King threw a little bit too far past him, and you have to imagine a lot of that was just from kind of throwing off his back foot, going backwards, trying to evade the pressure.
Well, and it also looked to me, Heath, like he realized the play wasn't going to develop, but they were coming down on him pretty quickly. Just throw the ball away, but throw it in the vicinity of a receiver. Save that intentional grounding call.
3rd and 3 now, under a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Brody King still in the backfield with Dougherty. Trips bunch formation on the left side, single receiver on the right for Alcoa as they move from right to left on your radio dial. The snap, the fake pitch, and it'll be Dougherty who'll take it himself. Dougherty will pick up the first down. He'll gain a couple more. So a Maryville top shot, first down for Alcoa, and the clock will continue to tick as Alcoa gets back to the huddle, and we are now under a minute to go in the third.
And you're probably just going to have one more play after this before the end of the quarter. Alcoa just taking their time, not in a hurry, keeping that clock running.
First and 10 for Alcoa. Probably will only get one playoff here, I would imagine, before we'll find ourselves heading to the fourth. Looks like it's King still in the backfield, and it'll be King on the carry. King out to the left side, trying to stiff arm some defenders. He's able to shed one. He will not shed the second. They will bring him down a couple yards away from the first down marker. Only under 20 seconds left to go in the third quarter. That clock will tick. Alcoa will slowly work their way back to the huddle. Under 10 to go now in the third. And as the clock winds down, we'll go ahead and just confirm, Scott, it's the end of the third quarter. Your score, 56-0. Alcoa. Before the fourth quarter begins, we're going to take a break here on the David's Abbey Carpet Game of the Week. The Tornadoes still on offense, and Dougherty will roll out to the right. He'll throw it down the field. It will be caught by Haynes Hawkins. A little juke, a little jive, and he continues to battle down the field and will be taken down inside the 5 for the Tornadoes. So a first down for Alcoa, and they are just a couple yards away from another Delosier auction touchdown. Another great play by the quarterback, and now let's go to Paige Dower, who's been keeping up the last few weeks watching this young man make plays on the field. Had a chance to interview him last week. Paige, how impressive has this backup quarterback been?
He's been fantastic, and you remind me when we interviewed him, we had the player of the game last week sitting in the King of Chaos chair, and he said, I've looked at that chair for so many years, hoping for my time to sit in it. He had his chance last week, and here he is continuing to make plays and continuing to get praise from his head coach, especially on defense after what he did in the first half.
Yeah, well-deserved. 2 interceptions last week, 1 this week. And as he hands it off, the running back for the Tornadoes, Brody King, bulldozing his way for a Tornado touchdown. So credit to the freshman picking up a varsity touchdown and putting the Tornadoes on the board yet again.
And a lot of determination on that. As they were stopping him right as he was getting to the goal line, he just kind of forced his way in, got that ball to break the plane, and another Tornado score.
Well, and Scott, also just give him further credit because he's not a big dude. He's kind of a small, younger little back. So a lot of fight, a lot of leg
more
power.
the size of a Condis Cherry than a Bishop.
Yeah, a lot of leg power there as he's able to get the touchdown. So kudos to that young man. And then the extra point is up and doing by the sophomore, Christian Posada, the 3rd kicker in the game today for the Tornadoes. With that extra point up and in, Coulter and I's predictions may be thrown out the window. And the guy who didn't even put in effort this week, Coulter, Scott Dunkel, who said 70-7, just like last week, he might beat us out now.
Well, I had a little bit of excuse for not worrying so much about an effort. And also want to say, Heath, as well, want to appreciate the fans and the followers, too, for the well wishes and the prayers after the loss of my mother-in-law, Lois Grisham, for myself and for our family as well. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Certainly missed you on the call last week. Give Paige kudos, though. She did a wonderful job filling in. We are so grateful to have her on our team. Whether she's on the field or on the headset, she is absolutely phenomenal and such a blessing to our group. But we're glad to have you back. Now, Coulter did try to kind of make a push to see if he could take over for you this week, but I said, sorry, bud, you got to stay on stats. And so we appreciate having you back as well. It's time for the Cadunza kickoff, and it'll be booted away as Yanez Cato kicks it all the way down to the 5. It is returnable to the 10, to the 15, tripped up and falling at the 21. The tackle was made by number 84, Mason Adams, a sophomore defensive back. And the Falcons will come back yet again on offense. Under 10 minutes to go. It's actually 8:55 and counting on the clock. Rounded up a little bit there. Here in the 4th quarter. And the Falcons still looking, Scott, for their first points of the day.
Well, it was a really good play from Mason Adams as he was able to get that hand in there, hit that shoestrings, and bring him down.
Yeah, had about a 10 to 15-yard gap from the returner and the rest of the team. And so he was able to really pick up some top speed as he started getting going. So kudos to Adams kind of getting a hand out there and tripping him up. Handoff to the running back who will push forward. But the Tornado defense will push right back. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, Alcoa 2nd unit defense is doing an outstanding job here as they are really keeping Fulton in check. As the clock keeps working itself down, fixing to hit the 8-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. As Heath mentioned earlier, Alcoa leading 63-0 as Fulton is traveling right to left on your radio dial for those that are listening in.
And Scott, here in a moment, we just want to give a shout out to our Trevor's Tornado winner of the week. As the Fulton will turn, they'll throw it outside of the wide receiver, trying to set up a screen. Good job of the young Tornado defense sniffing that one out. And it looks like a loss of 1 on the play. And as Fulton gets lined back up, want to shout out Brian Adler, who won our Trevor's Tornado Trivia this week. We'll reach out to him and try to set something up so we can get him his package throughout the week.
Yeah, congratulations on that. But
Alcoa continuing to do some good things on defense, Scott.
Yeah, that they are. I was trying to get the number if that was 16 or 18 that was out on the field that assisted in that tackle.
Right now, another snap. Quarterback will drop back. He'll just launch this one down the field, and it'll be intercepted.
Yeah, Lincoln Smith on the catch.
So an INT, a flag after the interception. I think what they're going to call is it may be a hold. It looked like one of the DBs was trying to block someone from getting to Smith, and I think he ended up holding him, so it may just move the offense back. We'll find out what they call here in a moment.
Good eyes from Smith, as well as basically that was just a floating duck up there as he just waited on it and came right up underneath it. But like you said, Heath, a hold after the interception, so it'll be first down and 10 for Alcoa around their own 40-yard line. As the clock continues to keep counting, we are getting under 6:15 left in the quarter and in this game.
Yeah, Scott, clock continuing to roll, and you'll see this Tornado offense get back to it. Let's see if they can continue to move the football down the field. Looks like it's Blade Burgess now in at running back for Alcoa. Dougherty in at quarterback. In the pistol formation we go, and it'll be Burgess who will get the snap. Burgess to the left side. Receivers leading the way. Some good blocks by the receivers. A Maryville top shot, first down and down. Past the 50, past the 45, and near the 41-yard line for Alcoa.
Yeah, good 19-yard run there from the running back for Alcoa. Got a clear space and took advantage of the opening he had.
And Scott, you really see the differences between these two freshmen. We just talk about more of the running backs. You got Brody King, very tiny running back. He's got a little shiftiness and speed to him. And then you got this big old guy in Blade Burgess. Doesn't even look like a freshman out there. It almost kind of reminds you of Bishop, the way he's built. And he's got a little bit of speed, too.
Yeah, Heath, another thing also, if you look at Alcoa continuing to keep a bevy of running backs back there, keep them fresh. You've got these youngsters also along with the juniors that you have already that are back there for Alcoa. So by the time these guys get to be juniors, they're going to be the stars of the game.
Another carry for Burgess, an 8-yard gain, and it'll now be 2 yards away from another Maryville top shot first down.
So 4:40 left here in the game. Alcoa leading 63-0 as they are currently at the Fulton 33-yard line. Slowly taking their time, letting the clock continue to count down as they just continuously and meticulously make their way down the field.
Yeah, Scott, ball on the 33 for Alcoa. And, yeah, they're just kind of really taking their time. Quarterback's walking over, getting the play from the sidelines, not in much of a hurry. And because of taking that time, it looks like they're going to end up calling a delay of game on Alcoa. They'll move them 5 yards back. It'll now be 2nd and 7.
Yeah, Alcoa didn't seem to be that bothered by it.
No. May have ended up looking at the clock and realized they just needed a little bit more time to talk things over. Didn't want to stop the clock. Just said, hey, we're just going to let it roll. And so now Dougherty breaks the huddle, knows what they're doing. It's 2nd and 7. We're under 4 minutes to go. He'll get the snap. He'll get the handoff. And I believe that was Brody King back into the ball game. And good job by the Fulton defense getting through the gaps and making a tackle in the backfield for a loss. So a loss of 2. It's now 3rd and 9, and we're under 3.5 to go.
Yeah, it looked like Darian Bonner for the Falcons was able to get back in there just about the time of the handoff and held on and just brought him down quickly. A loss for Alcoa. Alcoa getting the play in. Under 3:10 left in the game. Alcoa lined up, ready to go.
And a handoff to Brody King. He's got some pressure, cut it back up, and there he goes. And Scott, that's actually Parker Lee on the carry for Alcoa. To the 10, to the 5, and knocked out of bounds a couple yards away from the end zone. But how about the sophomore running back getting his first opportunity? And what a run.
Yeah, a great run right there as he got rid of and shed the first tackle attempt from the Falcons, was able to get away from that and put that speed on, got all the way down to the 2-yard line of the Falcons. You've got a first down. That is a Maryville top shot first down and a Delosier, not a touchdown yet, a clean roofs red zone or maroon zone for the Tornadoes as well, as they are sitting at the Falcon 2-yard line with less than 2:15 left in the game.
Yeah, Scott, I learned early in the season, you don't say red zone in tornado country.
That's right.
It is the
That's
tornado maroon zone.
Especially when you have Maryville on your calendar.
Absolutely. First down for Alcoa, under 2 minutes left to go. Both teams still have all their timeouts, but Scott, you wonder here if you're Alcoa, is Alcoa going to look to try to let Parker or one of these young guys score, or maybe are they just going to look to take some knees and get out of here?
Looks like they're going to take the penalty here in just a second and then just let the clock run. They may try another play. If not, they're just going to go to victory formation.
Yeah, I almost feel like they're just going to say, hey, it was a great run, really proud of him, but he didn't score, and we're not going to keep running this up. We're gonna just probably take this one to the house. So clock continues to run, 1:20 left to go. That delay of the game moved it back 5. It's now 1st and 7 here from the goal line. Alcoa breaks the huddle. You've got Parker Lee still in the backfield with Dougherty. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, tight end, trying to figure out where he's at. He'll now split to the left side of the line. And Alcoa now going to more of a bunch formation. Now they'll move away from it. Looks like just some confusion. And Dougherty will just take a knee.
Yeah, we'll say a couple of players that are probably newer, just not really sure where to line up at.
Yeah, you saw some of them saying, hey, get in here. They were trying to do the trip sponge formation, but that receiver bounced it out and then kind of looked and realized he was supposed to be inside. And Dougherty said, just give me the ball. Just took a knee. So he'll let this clock continue to roll. Scott, as we move towards the end of this ball game, we want to let Paige know and let Trevor know who our player of the game is. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. He's been working hard for it. I think our boy Jamirius Abuhanya, is our player of the week this week.
I totally agree, Heath.
Coulter shaking his head yes as well. So Jamirius Abuhanya will be our Print FX player of the week, brought to you by Kenny Jarvis of Farm Bureau. And so congratulations to him. But Scott, for a moment, I'll let you go ahead and just give some final thoughts here at this ball game before we get to Coulter and some interviews.
Well, as you would normally ask me a thought for the game, I'm going to have to go exactly with what Trevor said earlier at halftime: dominance.
It certainly was a very dominating performance, so dominant, in fact, Scott, that even the backups came into the game and did not allow a score.
Exactly, and usually you're going to see 1 or 2 get a score on there, but Alcoa played extremely well. Everyone that hit the field tonight played extremely well, and everyone pretty much got a chance to play as well.
Well, and it was kind of one of those things, I'm looking back here at the schedule, and the only team to not score in Alcoa coming into tonight was West. And to me, the only reason that was the case is it was a little bit of a closer ball game where it took a while for Alcoa to bring their backups in. It was a 35-0 game. It wasn't like it was a major blowout. Most of the games that have been blowouts, you've seen the Tornadoes go ahead and quickly get in a backup. So kudos to them.
Yeah, excellent game for Alcoa.
And it looks like Paige has got Jamirius Abuhanya down there on the field. So we're going to let her get ready.
Abuhanya is getting his player of the game real quick. Abuhanya, player of the game. What a phenomenal game for you. A couple of catches, a couple of touchdowns. What were you seeing on that last touchdown?
I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was about to get tackled, but I seen green, so just went through the green.
How is that a reflection of just how in sync this offense is and what you guys are able to do this season?
Just the chemistry, everybody got a good bond, you know. We just go out there and play and do what we do.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Paige. As right now, Coach Nick's talking to the team. We'll have him up here or on the mic with Paige here in a moment. Yeah, like he said, there was that one play where he caught it to look like he might have been tackled, but was able to kind of shed one, then saw some space, and he just turned on the afterburner so no one else would have an opportunity. He got his second touchdown, and he has been telling me for a few weeks now, I'm coming for that plaque. I'm coming for that plaque.
He's had several games that he very well could have got it, but just barely missed out on it. So he had in his mind, just in the first half, to be able to put up the numbers he put up in the first half alone, because none of the starters actually played in the second half, at least in the skill position players. So great job for Jam.
Yeah, but I certainly would have probably seen some more stats and catches on the stat line for him had he played a little bit longer. But in those kind of games, you're wanting to look to see who you can give the game ball to. Last week, it was Luka Dougherty, the backup quarterback, who made some big-time plays. Really was kind of all over the field. We saw him continue to do that tonight, but Jamir Zabuhania, the way he started this game and really helped continue to keep the party going in the first half for Alcoa. 2 receptions, 2 touchdowns, and now a Print FX Player of the Week plaque brought to you by Kenny Jarvis of Farm Bureau. We'll get that posted as well this weekend to highlight him. We'll get that plaque to him next week. Scott, had a chance at half. You and Trevor were talking things over to hustle my way over to the visitor section, even though it was kind of a tight squeeze getting through the crowd, that I was able to successfully deliver all the plaques to the players so far who hadn't gotten one. A lot of great parents, a lot of grateful parents, and we are grateful for them as well. All the support that they give us each and every week is such a blessing.
Yeah, it is, Heath, and a blessing, too, also, to just be able to come out and call for Alcoa doing this broadcast.
We've got Paige Dower on the sideline or on the field now with Coach Nix, and I think they're getting ready to interview him now.
Hey guys, down here with head coach Brian Nix after another phenomenal win. I want to go back to earlier in halftime where there was that basically a "you got Moss" type interception from Del Moss. What have you seen from him this season?
I think I'd said this at halftime. I don't know that Dale played any snaps other than special teams against Maryville, and then he has just continued to progress. He's worked. We moved him to a defensive-only guy so that he could really specialize. We played him at a couple of different spots in the secondary, tried to find what fit him best, and now he's in our starting lineup, and that's what we always talk to our guys about. If we give you a couple of plays and you make the most of those plays, you're going to get more plays, and the more plays you make the most of it, and that's the way it works around here. We're always in competition. Doesn't matter how well I coach tonight, it's how well I'm going to coach on Monday. Doesn't matter how well you played tonight, it's how well you practice on Monday, and that's always, that's the foundation of our program. And a guy like Dale being a junior, sticking around here for 2 years, working, you love to see him. And Dale doesn't say a lot, he doesn't talk, he's pretty blank expression, but it's just worked and made himself a really good player. Couldn't be more proud of him.
And then our player of the game tonight is Jamarius Abuhania. Abuhania said a couple of weeks ago that he was coming for that player of the game award. What effort did you see out of him tonight?
I just think the level of physicality from last year to this year is what you've noticed. Of course, he's 190 pounds. He deadlifted 405 for 2 last week in the weight room. He's a program guy with a lot of natural ability, but probably last year lacked that physicality. Well, he found it this year, and it's every play. If he's blocking for us, tackling, he does anything we ask him to do, and definitely a program guy, so it couldn't go to a better guy.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Paige. 2 great interviews, Jamarius Abuhania and then Coach Brian Nix on the headset. And now we're going to take our first break of the post-game show here on the David Zabby Carpet Game of the Week. When we come back, Coulter Town on the headset with a statistical breakdown.